Hi friends. Hi friends. Am I audible? Good evening, Lakshay, Sanjay, Saurav, Vamsi. Am I audible, friends? Hi Rajanish, Nikhil, Sanam Malik, Nikhil, Sania. Am I audible, friends? Hi Parth, Sushant Mishra, with my friends from IIM. Very good evening, Bipul, Sajid Khan, Gaurav, Tarun, Sushant, Amit, Arpit. Fantastic. I hope I'm audible, right? Thank you, Hardik, Srishti, Ariba. Very good evening. I'm just waiting for rest of your friends. Maybe, in 1 minute, hopefully, they would join. It's already close to 60 participants. Hi, Amit. Hi, Shakshi, Nitin, Anubhav, Aditya, and rest of my friends. I hope all of you are really doing good and are safe. Just out of curiosity, are you guys still attending classes from your respective hometowns? Hi, Kuldev. Interesting name. Very interesting name. Kuldev Brahma. Brilliant. Okay. Satya. Subhendu Pandey. Ashutosh. Siddheswar. Good. Fantastic. Guys, first of all, thank you so much for taking out time on a Thursday evening. Genuinely appreciate your interest. And thanks for having me here also. My name is Anil Kumar Misra. Yeah. And I'm an HR practitioner, currently the CHRO for Magic Bricks, which is India's #1 online real estate portal. We are also one-stop destination for all your property related needs. So what it means is not only we connect only potential buyers and sellers on our platform, we also make sure that if you have any needs related to real estate, for example, maybe movers and packers, vastu, home decor, so on and so forth, everything Magic Bricks takes into account and they support. Hi, Afrin, Omkar. Thank you, friends, for this wonderful welcome. Very, very happy to have all of you join this call. So what I'm going to do is very, very briefly, I would try and introduce myself. And the intent for me to do that would be so that you understand the background, the preamble, and whatever I'm going to discuss as my key leadership learning lessons, hopefully it will make a lot of sense. Okay? So as I said, I'm a practicing CHRO, and this is my 24th year of practicing HR. And God has been very kind. I worked in all different sectors. Started with manufacturing, and the key learning there is any kind of manufacturing practice that you talk about, be it 5S, Kanban, Kaizen, all of that is very, very strong. If you want to understand the manufacturing practices, there cannot be a better sector to learn this from, manufacturing sector. Second sector I joined is called hospitality, and more specifically, I joined the Oberoi group of hotels and resorts, and that too in a property in Jaipur called the Oberoi Rajvilas. So, friends, even today, you would be happy to know Oberoi Rajvilas features amongst top 10 hotels across the world. So, brilliant property, and my biggest takeaway was if you talk about customer centricity or guest centricity as a competency, If you want to learn that, there cannot be a better sector than hospitality. Yeah. So thoroughly enjoyed that piece. Then moved to IT services company called Patni Computers, which no longer exists today. And that's the newer avatar is Capgemini. It got acquired by iGate, and subsequently iGate got acquired by Capgemini. Biggest learning there is time is money. You need to make sure that all your resources are billable resources. They need to earn revenue. Otherwise, you cannot have a bench strength. The less the bench strength you have, the better is their allocation, the better is the revenue generation model. And besides, other people practices like employee engagement, performance management, all of that is very, very strong if you talk about IT services companies. Then my next assignment was with a UK retail giant called Tesco. I understand the nuances of .com business, how online business in retail runs. That was my biggest learning. I was in Bangalore, and that's where Tesco has got India's presence, and thoroughly enjoyed that role there and learned the nuances of supply chain management, online retail, .com business, all of that. Then came in my first CHRO assignment, and that was with Just Dial. Yeah, Just Dial is in information services business, and the competition was with Googles of this world. But this is very hyper local information services business. Thoroughly enjoyed, because that was my CHRO, first CHRO assignment. Thoroughly enjoyed playing that role of a CHRO and managing stakeholders, specifically when there are promoter-led business and homegrown Indian promoter-led public limited company. Managing stakeholder was my biggest takeaway. Then I moved to Fortune 500 company, New York Stock Exchange listed company called Fidelity as CHRO, and again this time was in Bangalore. After that, now Magic Bricks, a group called Bennett and Coleman, or popularly called Times of India Group. So when you open a newspaper, Times of India newspaper, what do we see, Sanjana and Sonali? We see multiple segments, right? We see sports related news, we see entertainment, we see movies, we see maybe job related, maybe matrimonial related, maybe real estate related news. The realization about 2 decades back was each of this business has got tremendous potential to go digital, and hence today if you talk about Times of India Group, and then you have literally the newspaper already in print media. But besides that, you talk about Krikbas, Radio Mirchi, Magic Breaks, Times Job, so on and so forth. Each of those segments are a full-fledged business entity today. That's the group I'm talking about. And happy to let you know that Magic Bricks is already 16 plus years in its operation and is a profit-making entity. I do not know how many consumer internet companies in India are there who are profit-making. I was very fortunate to work for Just Dial and also with Magic Bricks, which are profit-making entities. Indian success stories when you talk about .com or consumer internet space, tech companies. Yeah, that's the background. And my role is to take care of the entire HR agenda, strategic agenda. And as CHRO, that's what I'm accountable for. Yeah. So broadly, friends, that's the preamble. That's the context. And interestingly, whatever leadership learning I'm going to share with you will have relevance to some company or other, or it could be also simple observation. Yeah, make sense? So that's the preamble. But in the next 45 minutes or so, what I'm planning to do is I'm going to ask you few difficult questions. Intent is not to make you believe that how Anil is intellectually superior. I would never dare to do that. Yeah, that's not my intent. But intent is to make sure it stimulates the thought process, and by end of the day, by end of the session at least, you walk out with few key takeaways. If that happens, then that's what good looks like. That's how success of the session would be evaluated according to me, right? And I hope by end of the session, each one of you would walk out at least with 3 key takeaways, which should typically help you in building your career. Yeah. Number one. So the format is going to be, I'm going to ask also a few questions in between. And definitely I'll try and make it very, very blunt and honest while, dealing with all my student friends from IIM. Okay. Number one, how many of you believe or heard the saying that people are an organization's biggest asset? And the follow-up question is, if you have heard people are an organization's biggest asset, how many of you truly believe in the statement? So question is very simple. How many of you have heard people are an organization's biggest asset? Number two, how many of you also believe in the statement that people are an organization's biggest asset? Okay. Now, friends, I'm sure in your management studies, you have learned, irrespective of the kind of business that you are in, broadly, there are resources which we popularly called 5M. Parth says, have not heard, but I believe it is the statement. Interesting. But Suvendu Pandey says, yes, heard and believe. Vinay says, heard and believe. Priyanka also says, yes, yes. Aditya says, I believe. Interesting. Thank you, friends, for that response. But typically, every organization talks about 5 resources. Whether you are in manufacturing or services, you need to have those resources in place. And they are popularly in management parlance called 5M. Men, material, method, market, money. Isn't it? 5M popularly called. Men, method, market, material, and finally, money. Don't worry, men includes both men and women, or we can replace that word with human resources. Yeah. And the statement hence is, people are an organization's biggest asset. I'm sure you guys are going to hate me for saying this. Arpit, Sanjay, Laksh, Rohan, Shakshi, I'm saying as a practitioner, people in general are not an organization's biggest asset. That's a wrong statement. People in general are not an organization's biggest asset. My God, Anil is a practicing CHRO. How could he make a statement like this? Here is my logic. Number one, every organization in their annual appraisal process, there is something called bell curve. You try and find out who are the top talent, who are in the middle of the road, who are the bottom performers. Yeah. Just think of your engineering career or your 10th or 12th board. The same class of, same batch of 100, 120 people, they go through exam. Some people, one would be university topper or class topper. Some people would pass out in first division, some people second division, some people would fail or will have back paper. What do you do then? You give them an opportunity to improve. And in the form of back paper, they reappear. And if they improve, well and good. If they clear, they are pass. Otherwise, they fail. Cut to corporate world, friends. Just the way we have exams, our academic evaluation system is concerned, even in corporate, we have a tendency to identify who are top talent, who are bottom talent, or poor performer. The poor performer, so-called poor performer, are asked to go through a process called PIP, called Performance Improvement Plan. And they get an opportunity to improve the performance. Now, you can ask me how ethical it is to demarcate people basis the performance standards, performance levels. But mind you, end of the day, these are business organizations. They would have some means to identify the true value addition of people, and hence it's bound to be going for some sort of a comparison. Now, people who are relatively so-called poor performers get an opportunity to improve. If despite of getting that opportunity, if there is no improvement, what ultimately happens is they are asked to move out of the company. Hence, friends, question to you is, if people in general are your assets, would you allow your assets to move out of your company? Answer is no. That's my first logic. Second logic, we know we all are going through unprecedented times, a crisis called COVID-19. And thankfully, right now, this is the second wave. So we are well prepared. When it hit us last year, 2020, around March, then just to stay relevant, organizations have gone for plenty of terminations, plenty of job losses. That's a known fact, nothing to hide, right? And who are the people prone to job losses during any kind of a crisis? These are the people who fail to embrace change, who in terms of attitude is not good, people who are not consistently top performer. And hence, is it fair for us to say that people in general are an organization's asset? No, right? So these are my two logic, and hence I say people in general are not an organization's biggest asset. Good people are an organization's asset. Yeah, people fool ourselves. People in general are not an organization's biggest asset. Good people are an organization's asset. And when I'm saying good people, these are the people who align well with corporate goal, who are consistently top performer, who have the potential to get on to the next level, who know how to work with a team. And if you have those criteria, my dear friends, then definitely you would be relevant irrespective of the crisis that we go through. Only take away out of the first part of discussion, the leadership learning lesson one is people in general are not. Good people are an organization's asset, and there would be plenty of opportunity for good talent. Good meaning people who embrace change, who are open to learn, who are consistently top performer, who demonstrate that they have the potential to get on to the next level. Very, very important. So please keep it in your mind that good people would continue to demand a premium even in business world, right? Very important to get on to that category. So only way out for that is constantly upgrading ourselves, number one. Number two, this is more of a realization started from 2020. Typically, friends, whenever there is a crisis that hits us, broadly, I'm referring to COVID-19, every organization has gone through three broad phases. Number one, the first phase was all about how do we survive as a company? What do we need to do just to stay afloat? And just for survival, organizations have initiated plenty of actions last year. Some of them were, number one, defer the date of joining for campus hires. Go for certain termination of jobs in certain cases. Go for number three is defer the increment cycle. There is no increment right now. And fourth one, go for graded pay cut. And we know plenty of organizations all around us have done this thing. Yeah. And if somebody is a startup, definitely, they were thinking of how and what we need to do as a group, as a company, as an institution to stay relevant. And for that, plenty of actions were taken. Good, bad, ugly, those actions got to be taken. And we have seen that, just for survival, just to stay afloat, what and how organizations have initiated certain actions. Number two, second phase was all about organizations reinventing. Yeah, getting into a creative mindset. How and what we need to do to earn or recover back We have already lost because of strict lockdown measure. There was no business. Business, irrespective of the sectors that we are in, by and large, were impacted. And of course, few sectors got hugely impacted, and few sectors also got benefited. Also, we'll talk to that. We'll talk and go there in a bit. So, second point is from survival. Second phase was all about recovering back. What we need to do to recover back the lost ground was the second priority. Third priority was how and what we need to do again to get back to that excellence mode before the pre-COVID era, meaning January 2020 situation, February 2020 situation, right? Which was phenomenal, very good. Till the time in March second week, we got hit with this, COVID-19 situation last year. So these were the three broad phases. Yeah, learning. What are they? Number one, how do we survive? Any crisis for that matter. Every crisis will force you to focus on those three things as a leader. Number one, what I need to do to survive or stay afloat during this unprecedented time, during this crisis. Number two, what I need to do to recover back. And friends, you are aware, car manufacturing companies got into mass production. E-commerce players who were not into grocery delivery got into grocery delivery. And there are plenty such examples. Mind you, the situation is same. It's the same situation for everybody. Some sectors were badly hit. For example, hospitality, hotels, lounge, bars, etc., etc. Travel management company, aviation sector. These are the sectors. And of course, manufacturing. These are some of the sectors hugely impacted. On the contrary, why I made a statement, every situation also brings in the best in us. Some organizations went creative. And the second one is, the situation is same, but some sectors were phenomenally benefited. For example, education technology. For example, life sciences or medical science, that sector. No, phenomenal growth. Similarly, if you talk about consumer internet and more specifically grocery delivery, doing very, very good. And plenty of YouTubers. So situation is same, but people have reinvented. And few people got impacted, few people got benefited because of the situation. That's the harsh reality, friends. However, learning number three, and this time, this is purely my experience. What is that during crisis we should not be doing? Yeah, there my 2 points specifically. Number one, if employee separation is inevitable, meaning just for survival, if you have to ask certain percentage of people to move out, by all means play your professional role and take action around that. However, what you cannot afford to do, what you should not be doing is, you cannot demean the dignity of labor. Meaning, treat people the way you would like to be treated is very, very important. Just because the situation is down, you cannot simply ill-treat your people. You can never afford to demean the dignity of labor. Do that with utmost grace, because the true test of character for a company, for a leader, for an institution is, how do you behave? How did you behave when your chips were down? In good times, we take people to exotic locations for offsites, party, plenty of other stuff. How did you behave? How human you were, right? End of the day, when you're dealing with people, very important for us to keep this in our back of our mind is, you cannot demean the dignity of labor, irrespective of the situation. Do that with utmost respect. Second learning during this COVID crisis. Every organization talks about organization culture, how they have got values and stuff like that, right? And Second point here is keeping in mind your short-term gain, you cannot afford to compromise on your values. Why? Because once you compromise, for example, if you have respect as a value or meritocracy as a value, but because we all are going through a crisis, if you ignore treating people well, then nobody would believe on your corporate culture. And when things are back to normal, if you want to again take up this assignment of culture transformation, you would never succeed, because people make a mental note. They do not forget the kind of treatment they got during difficult times. So very, very important. Why I'm sharing what I'm sharing right now, friends? Please mind you, this is not going to be the end of the crisis. We have seen the Great Depression in 90s. Right now, it is COVID. And friends, I don't want to demoralize you, but the fact of life is, it's not an end to the crisis we are going to have in even in future. What it means is, even in future, we will have to face certain crises, because these things are not in our control. But then, what is in our control is take it head on, fight it out. Very, very important. Okay? So, the situation, the two quick learning, quick recap is: number one, cannot afford to demean the dignity of labor because we are going through a crisis. Number two, organization culture, which my friend Anirban is also agreeing with me. Thanks, Anirban. Culture, values cannot be compromised because we are going through difficult time. And I'm sure most of you also have seen how Ratanji Tata talked about organization values. When he came across news that plenty of organizations are asking people to move out because they are finding it's difficult to survive. He said, how can you typically ask your people? These were your building block, the pillars of building institution. Because you are going through difficult time, you cannot. So people observe. Long story cut short, cannot compromise on your company values. That's non-negotiable. Fourth learning. There are few trends I'm seeing, friends. Number one, if you look at the mindset of leadership members, earlier, and I'm referring right now to more workplace flexibility. Yeah, workplace flexibility in the form of work from home. I don't like this term called work from home. My counter narrative is, why work from home alone? If it's a meritocracy driven culture, which promotes, which focuses more around what has been your net value addition, why work from home? Why not work from anywhere? Doesn't matter even if it is from the beautiful beaches of Goa. So long as I fulfill the commitment that I made in the form of my KRA or goals, till the time I fulfill that objective, it should be fine, no? And hence, work from home, that my prediction is it is going to be work from anywhere. When things are back to normal also, there are certain functions who are not required to come to work. Yeah, they can still operate from wherever they want, but they would have certain performance targets that will not be compromised. And the future will be of a hybrid model whenever we will be back to our offices. Okay? But for easy understanding of student community, there are plenty of benefits of this work from home. But for easy understanding of student community, I created an acronym and I call it STOP, S-T-O-P, wherein S is for social distancing. Even during second phase, the lockdown measures were imposed mainly to ensure that there is social distance that we maintain, besides taking care of course, mask and other sanitization and stuff like that. The only way out to bring this crisis under control was to maintain social distance. In work from home or work from anywhere, you are not required to go to crowded workplaces or crowd up your work places or your companies, and hence it's a win-win proposition for both. That is S for social distancing. T is for the travel time. Friends, it's a proven fact. Does not matter which city you are from, be it Bangalore, Chennai, Patna, Bhubaneswar, anything. By and large, it's a research data tells us 20 to 25% of our productive time we spend while commuting from home to office, office to home. Yeah, and that takes a toll on your overall workplace productivity. And in work from home or work from anywhere kind of a flexibility module, you don't need to commute. And mind you, for organizations, they don't need to invest on your transportation cost. So it's a win-win for both of them. And on the contrary, it's since you are not wasting your time and energy in commuting, in travel, the productivity levels are definitely going to go higher. On that assumption, I strongly believe those workplace flexibility are here to stay. Third benefit, STO. O is for office occupancy. Friends, gone are those days when corporates would be boasting about, hey, I know, I have got 25-acre office campus. No, when there are cost pressures on fixed cost, the focus is on co-working spaces. Because I belong to the sector, I can tell you there has been a surge to the tune of 25% in tier 2 cities as far as co-working spaces are concerned. Why? Because there is also a reverse migration happening. Because of the crisis, organizations are absolutely fine, and young people like you and our colleagues, they find it convenient to go back to their hometown, spend time but connect, isn't it? So that's the third benefit, that is office occupancy. Organizations also don't need to spend too much, so they can allow people some sort of a pass. All the co-working spaces that you have in your vicinity, you can go there if you want better internet connectivity or some sort of an office space. Yeah, this is the change that we are seeing right now. Last one, P is for pollution. Think of young age people, think of old age people, think of people suffering from asthmatic challenges. All of them are finding it really, really very good. And so this pandemic has also taught us how do we peacefully coexist with nature. Yeah, very important. Then comes so these are the quick benefits of work from home. That's number one trend. Number two, friends, I also tend to believe, if you allow me quickly, my mistake, but the lighting is not good. Just give me a minute. Let me switch it on. Sorry, friends. Yeah, I'm back. So second trend, I want you to make a note of it. By all means, I pray and hope that all of you should get a job or an internship of your choice. But during difficult times, friends, I tend to believe organizations will play the role of wait and watch. And hence, I tend to believe that the hiring recruitment activities would, in general, on an average, will see a dip, meaning there would be less number of full-time opportunities available for companies, for job seekers. Now, I'm talking about full-time employees. What it also means is when full-time employment opportunities will dip, it will give rise to a parallel economy called gig economy. Yeah, but who are this gig economy? Who are those gig people, gig workers? And mind you, this gig, India already features amongst top 5 nations after China, after US, China, Japan. Number 3 is US, China, Mexico. Number 4th is India. It already features among the top nations who are extensively using gig workers. But mind you, another 5 million workers are likely to join this gig workers, this gig economy in the next 12 months or so. It's estimated. Yeah. So what it means is, who are these gig workers? These are typically your Amazon delivery boys or your Flipkart delivery boys or Uber drivers. Or if your AC is not working, what do? You dial just dial folks, or probably go for urban company, they come, they charge a fee and go out. These are examples of blue collar gig workers. Yeah. We are talking about white collar gig worker because there are plenty of job losses. There are experienced folks available in the market, and organizations that do not want to increase their fixed liability in terms of pay and stuff like that. The future will be, in future we will see more of white collar gig workers, meaning CFOs, digital marketing experts, data scientists, so on and so forth. These people would be in high demand and they would join this gig workforce. Yeah. And very, very important, the jobs and move ahead with the flow. Third thing, during this time, as an HR practitioner, few key learning that I have got, and my key learning I would summarize under 5C. Very important, and these are my practical experience. Number one, in crisis situation, any crisis situation for that matter, friends, very important for us to communicate. Why? Because there is plenty of anxiety all around us. People want to know what's happening. People want to know when can they actually get back to work. People want to know whether their jobs are safe or not, and so on and so forth. And hence, any organization which proactively went ahead and communicated, yeah, does not matter if you do not have information, go there and tell that, no, I'll come back to you. At this stage, we do not have any clarity. Yeah, but communication, and at times over communication, is also absolutely fine because it brings down the level of anxiety, uncertainty. That helps. So that is my first C, learning. Any crisis, please go ahead and communicate whatever you can do. Number 2, C, is about connect. It did not be business all the time. Just pick up the phone. I did it myself, so I can tell that with confidence. Just picking up phone, talking to people randomly, inquiring about their well-being goes a long way in creating a feeling that you are concerned about their well-being, and they respect you for that. They believe that here is a company, here is a manager, here is a leader who is genuinely interested. It doesn't have to be anything else. Just pick up and inquire. That is very important. Connecting with people. And connecting is also very important because we often say that, man is a social animal. You can't leave them in isolation. Every day we used to meet up, chit chat, have our coffees together. All of a sudden, the pandemic has forced us to confine to our respective places, and for quite some time. So talking to them, organizing online tambola, some sort of fitness challenge, or running town halls, or if nothing, then evening parties, Friday parties. You carry your food, virtual parties. You carry your food, drink. I carry mine. We would have a laugh over some, silly stuff. That's also absolutely fine. This is going to really help people in bringing down the stress level, and hence every organization is inventing, reinventing, rebooting their workplace strategy to connect well with people. Third thing is the care piece. Care and compassion is very, very important. Yeah, compassion is all about empathy. If some people they lost their job, oh, sad to hear you have lost your job. Here is about all sympathy. Nobody wants sympathy, they want empathy. I can feel what you are currently going through, probably because of your job loss. And hence, when I feel, that's when I will walk an extra mile to help you out. How did and what did organizations do? They took the help of their talent acquisition team, helped those people who lost their job in preparing their profiles, biodata, posting it on job portals, and also giving them leads about who is hiring. So that is an example of compassion. I know I cannot do anything about your job loss thing. However, I will try my best to help you out because we were colleagues in getting a job. People understand that. They appreciate that. They understand. Okay. Fourth C is about something called catharsis. 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 Not a new concept. It's there since Aristotle time. What it means is allowing people to vent out their anger, their anxiety is good for mental health. Everybody is talking about mental health. Now, smart people, smart managers, what they do is at least the people deserve a patient hearing. So hear them out. You don't need to be judgmental. You don't need to be defensive. Allow people that didn't like certain things. By all means, let them speak. Hear them out. That is very good for mental health of our colleagues. Yeah, understanding that is very important. Plus, for mental health, when it comes to employees' mental health, most of the organizations also tied up with counseling, coaching services. That's my fifth C. Hand holding young managers, leaders, because typically people would feel managers. We came across certain cases wherein employees would give that feedback to me, saying that my manager calls me anytime, yeah, and he believes I'm on a picnic, paid picnic. Why? Because I didn't pick up the call, right? So initially these were the teething issues. So we had to handhold the people managers, tell them it's absolutely fine. If they have not picked up your call, probably they are having a meal with the family because it's literally 24/7. Yeah, when you are talking about work from home. So sensitizing people, allowing them to have their privacy, see is coaching, counseling was also equally important. And hence, all those five, when you focus around that and try to mitigate the challenges, it goes really, really well with your colleagues. Last but not the least, before I conclude, friends, as I said, there is no end to the kind of crisis that we will have or we are having right now. There would be crisis throughout our life, something which we do not know as yet. What we can do is only there are two choices. Okay, any crisis, friends, when we go through that, when you encounter, only there are two instant reaction. Yeah, for example, let's say you are very, very fearful of stray dogs and you're walking in a deserted lane in Kolkata, in Bangalore, in Chennai, and you're all alone and you get chased by this stray dog. What do? The two options are: one, run as fast as possible. Yeah. Number two is stand still, pick up a stone or a stick, try to scare the stray dog away. Don't hit it. Try to scare away. Yeah. First example of running out is called in technical parlance flight. Second option of standing still and taking the problem head on, situation head on, is called fight. So flight and fight. But flight, matlab, भागोगे तो कहां तक भागोगे जिंदगी में? There would be a different situation, there would be a difficult boss, there would be some other challenge, and hence it's better for professionals like you and I, friends. Flight is not an option. You have to take the situation head on and fight it out. Yeah, very important to fight it out, because in fight mode, the kind of confidence that you are going to gain is going to be unparalleled. And we don't need to feel victimized. In a sense, oh my God, I have been trying very hard to focus on my academic career. During my time, only this COVID situation has to come when I'm ready for campus hire. During my friends, this is a unique situation. You and I cannot do much about it. But smart people during this time, as I said, good people are in organizations. As I said, in that good category, what you need to do is we have plenty of time at our disposal. Try and acquire new skills. For example, problem, unwritten competencies which is in high demand right now, which are in high demand right now. And as per also your World Economic Forum survey 2025, by 2025, these are the competencies which are going to be in high demand: problem solving, predictive modeling, ability to take people along, my digital savviness, my emotional intelligence, yeah, my growth mindset, my design thinking. These are the competencies which is going to gain furthermore significance, and these are the skills required by 2025. And this is the time, friends. Try, learn. There are plenty of programs, free courses available. Try and gain as much as you can during this time, because end of the day you are not competing in a digitized economy. That's what, again, Klaus Schwab, the founding chairman of World Economic Forum, the author of Industry 4.0, talks about how in a global connected world, the fourth industrial revolution is about Internet of Things, is about machine learning, 3D printing, etc., etc. At the same time, for us on the people quadrant, very important to realize that you are competing against a global workforce. So people from Australia, UK, US, Mumbai, FMS, ISB, you will have to compete against everybody. So they are your competition. So the fundamental question you need to ask is, why should anybody hire me? What is so unique about me? Try and build your uniqueness. Try and focus more on networking and connection, skills. Try and build a brand. Personal branding is going to be one more competency which will be in high demand. Yeah, personal branding does not necessarily mean sending a LinkedIn invite. In most of the cases, you would probably not get accepted. Most people, they do not. But what happens is, create a niche for yourself so that people would make a note of you. Yeah, it could be anything. At 47, friends, if I can create if I can be a YouTuber, I created my own channel called Dr.HR with an intent to share this years of my, experience with young minds like you, so that you get benefited and are better prepared to join the corporate world. If I can do at this age, I'm sure each one of you can do. If you are good, if you have a tech blend of mind, get into some sort of an app development. If you are good at oratory, presentation skill, create your channel and speak about certain contemporary topic. Let people make a note. If you are good at maybe looking at numbers, if you can come out with some sort of an insight, data is available in abundance. If you can come and highlight around certain insights which is going to help organization, you would be a winner. You are creating a personal brand for yourself. Very, very important to focus on all of that. With that, I take a pause, but before I conclude, I want to know, how was the session? Did you find it meaningful? Is it worth spending 45 minutes, 50 minutes on a Thursday evening? And if yes, you have learned certain thing, are you committed enough to implement whatever you have learned whenever that opportunity comes in? Vinay Jaju, could not thank you enough for that feedback. You made my evening also. Thanks for that positive feedback. Okay. Now, friends, last request. As I said, even at 47, I need some sort of a motivation. One, I definitely derive by interacting with you guys. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And this YouTube channel I have created almost about 8-9 months back, and there are plenty of exciting 100 plus exciting videos. Please to go through that on multiple themes, starting from organization culture to interview questions, and then global HR practitioners have participated, and I'm sure you would benefit if you go through that. Along with that, taking help of few GTV artists, I've also created few satires. So go through that. Those are hard hitting but very light, but with a intent. Have created that. Please go through that. Hopefully you would like that. And lastly, if you like my session today, if you want to stay connected, please do subscribe to Dr.HR, my YouTube channel. That's how we can stay connected. Nidhi, I'm sure you have already subscribed to my channel. Sushant Mishra would definitely subscribe Anil Mishra's channel. Ishan is a very good friend of mine, and Sanjay, Omkar, Vinay. So all of you, request you, please, I'm sure you would not be disappointed. Please do subscribe to Dr. HR, my YouTube channel, and there would be plenty of learning. Okay? With that, again, I thank and I pray that all of you should do well in your career. Mercy. Thank you, Nishikant. Nishant. Mercy. Okay? All the very best. Very important for you to stay positive, stay strong, yeah, stay positive, but test negative, test COVID negative. All the very best, friends. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe to Dr. HR. Bye bye. I'll see you in some other session. Take care.